Have you seen all those Forex gurus posting all that stuff on their Instagram? Is that really the truth? I jumped into it a year ago, and here is where I am now today with Forex trading. Stick around. So as you can see on the screen here, I first started Forex in 2020 on the day of March 19th. As you can see here, I deposited $250 and there's also a bonus credit I got for some reason. It was just weird. So in total in my account, there was $500. Now, this is my first time depositing money into any kind of brokerage, and I was using one called Trader's Way and using the MetaTrader 4 app to trade Forex. It's probably the most popular one for Forex traders that are retail traders at least. So that's what I stuck with after watching tons of videos from YouTube channels like Trading 212 and Top Traders, etc., etc. Maybe I'll drop a link below if that's helpful. After spending about a month learning what Forex actually was, how it worked, how volatile it was, how much volume goes on every single day, I deposited some money and I knew that it was time to get ready. I learned the basics, like how there is a counter currency and a base currency, and how you're not really just buying one asset, you're actually just pretty much opening a leveraged position and choosing whether if the price of the base currency is going up or down. If it's gonna go down, you choose to sell. If it's gonna go up, you choose to buy. And depending on my position size, I would make a certain number of dollars per pip that the price moves. Now, I'm not gonna get too much into all these technicals in this video. That's not my job here. I'm an e-commerce guy, but I just wanted to share my actual trading journey. So anyways, the same night that I deposited the money, I placed one trade here, selling the pound against the US dollar with a very small lot size. After a couple hours, I realized that trade was probably not going to work out. It was around 4 in the morning, so I was already pretty tired and kind of bent that my first trade was a loss. So I closed it and I said, you know what? I'm not going to bed until I find another nice setup. 20 minutes later, I came across the dollar-yen pair, USD JPY, and I saw an opportunity and I decided to place a buy order here, as you can see, for the 0.3 lot size, which means that for every pip it moves, I make $3. That was all I did. It was like 4:30 in the morning now. I went to bed and woke up at 10 a.m. the next day. First thing I did, of course, was check my phone to see what the trade was like, and kaboom! I pretty much doubled my Forex account overnight, making $487 on a $500 account. So I'm almost doubling my account overnight as my first night as a Forex trader, guys. This is not a scam. I swear to God, this happened to me. I was freaking out. I did not know what to do. At one point, I was up 800 and I set my stop loss into the profit zone, and it was just making me money guaranteed at that point. And so I got a little bit greedy and ended up only doubling my account, which I'm still very grateful for. However, disclaimer, that was the best trade I ever made with Forex. As I'm gonna show you, I've placed many trades in my Forex account, and that was the actual one with the biggest win ever. Now, of course, there was some other big wins making me $200, $300, and that wasn't too bad. And of course, I actually deposited money throughout the period and ended up depositing a total of around $2,000. And as you can see, my profit is negative 530, which is pretty much 27%. So overall, I was in the red, but again, this was money that I was comfortable with losing, and I lost 25% after months and months of trading, maybe like 8 or 9 months. Some traders start and within their first month either blow up their entire account and have to stop, or their losses just add up too much and they just can't take the pressure, and so they just weasel out of there. I was able to stay strong, almost secured a bag, and I was only down around 25% on my account, which of course is never a good rule. I broke Warren Buffett's only rule and I lost money, but that's okay with me. I was just learning a new experience, and along the way I learned tons of new things. For example, I didn't know anything about non-farm payrolls or the economy and how important the unemployment releases that come out every Thursday are, and how huge GDP is, and how important imports and exports are in all these certain countries like in Canada and in the States and in Germany and in China, of course, and how important Brexit was with the pound. There was such an impact with the pound and Brexit for so long, going on for so long. And then of course with the Fed, you know, good old Powell, always printing money, that does nothing with the US dollar. And when I first started, I had no idea about this. I thought, oh my gosh, the US dollar is the best thing in the world. It's always gonna go up in value. But right when I started trading back in March of 2020, that's when COVID first hit. So you can see how the US dollar kind of plunged, and I was able to capitalize a little bit, but not as much. But overall, I learned a lot about economics, a lot about technicals, and I now have a decent foundation for trading now. If I want to trade crypto in the future, I already hold some crypto, or stocks, I already hold some stocks. I'm gonna have a little bit better understanding now. I learned the basics indicators on charts like the RSI, the MACD, Bollinger Bands, the stochastics. All those things are just fundamentals for trading, and I'm so happy that I learned. One of the main websites I used was called babypips.com. I went through their whole course before I even traded anything. If you can control your emotions, you can almost do anything with investing. A lot of people will ask their neighbor about an investment, and if that neighbor does not prove it, they almost just stop. Or if like 3 of their friends say, hey, this is not a good investment, they pull out and they stop, even if they really believed in it. If 3 friends say something, they're out. You cannot have that mindset as a trader. Now, by no means am I an expert, but I know as an entrepreneur for many years now that if you let other people's opinions, especially about your investments, affect you and make you change your mind on things and you're very uneasy and uncertain, it's gonna be very hard for you to actually be vastly successful and make big gains in the Forex market. And perhaps you should just stick to something more safe like bonds or mutual funds, which is totally fine and better than what most people always do anyways. Never did I ever risk more than I was willing to lose on a single trade. So even with that original trade, I was okay with losing $30, $60. Like say for example, it was $3 per pip. If we went down 10, 20 pips, I would have lost $60 on that trade, which would have been about 10% of my account, which is still pretty high at the time. But I was okay with losing that, and that made complete sense, and it worked out to work fine for me. However, you should never risk more than I would say 10% on a trade, especially in Forex. Now, it is dangerous because Forex is different than the typical stock market because you're not just trading with your money. You're opening a very leveraged position against these pairs and just basically just gambling, saying up or down, and you just go. So your brokers, all these unregulated brokers like Trader's Way, will give you insane amounts of leverage that brokers like Ameritrade would never give you. For example, 100 leverage, which means that you only need to have, your margin requirement is only 1%. So if you want to control $100,000 worth of the US dollar, for example, you only need $1,000 of required margin to maintain that position. However, if you're going down too much and you're close to that margin call point, you can really get screwed and just lose all your money. So this is by no means a shortcut. Many new traders will also choose the biggest amount of leverage possible and just like hope for the best. Not a smart idea. I recommend that you do a lot of learning before you start this. I just wanted to share my experience. Say for example, you've been doing e-commerce for maybe 3 years now, 2 years, and you're struggling and haven't had your huge breakthrough, and you think that just like going over to Forex will just work in the first month. That is not how the game works. You have to stick with one thing for a long time, truly become an expert in it, and then it will be very high yielding, high rewarding. You'll be well off for the rest of your life. I think I might continue to trade Forex in the future. For now, I've removed all my money from there and invested it into stocks and a little bit of crypto because I believe that crypto and blockchain is the future, but that's a whole separate video. But with Forex, the bottom line is learn the main currency pairs with the euro dollar, the US dollar, pound against the dollar, learn the volatility of each pair, and then come up with your own basic strategy and then back test it. One thing I forgot to mention that a lot of people are asking, Corey, were your trades just from signals? And the answer is no, they were not. Now, many Forex people, as you probably know, have Discord servers where they make people pay, or sometimes it's even free, and they have a Discord server and a Telegram where they shoot out their trade ideas saying, hey, buy this, sell this, here are the numbers, just go do it, copy and paste this. And although that can maybe work, I just want to be able to rely on myself and not have to rely on that person, because if that person gets injured or stops trading or dies, then I'm out of luck. So I truly believe that signals is not the best thing to follow unless you want to look at them and then verify it with your own analysis, and if you both come to the same agreements, then go ahead. But if you're blindly trading off of someone else's opinions, it's probably not going to work out for you unless that person's like Warren Buffett. But even then, like, you should really be confident in what you're investing your money in, no matter if it's $1, $1,000, or even 10K, 100K, $1 million. Every penny counts. And that's a huge lesson I've learned from Donald Trump. Every dollar counts, and you should know the value of a dollar. Bottom line, that is my Forex trading experience. I'm still shook to this day how I was able to double my account overnight on my first night, and then after that it became very average and just like wins and losses, and I slowly managed to start becoming red. But this will definitely help me in the future, as I'm only 19 years old right now, and I hope this video gave you a little bit more insight as to not have high hopes, to not rely on others, and please have that patient mindset and to not let other people's opinions affect you, and you can be a successful investor. That's pretty much it for this video. I have a Discord server, and so you're gonna see a clip about that at the end of this video. But thanks for sticking around. I hope this video was cool and it turns out nicely, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. All right, guys, video is over. If you're still sticking around, thanks so much for watching. Just one more thing I want to mention. If you are an entrepreneur of any sort, you're a beginner, you're an expert, you're somewhere in the middle, and you want to be in a community that has a lot of like-minded people that are doing e-commerce, starting their own, software as a service companies, and everything in between there, feel free to join my Discord server. Each and every single day, people are coming in and joining my server and just interacting. You don't even have to talk too much. A lot of people just join and like to listen in on what we're talking about. Look at all the resources that I have in there. There's a lot of channels in there talking about things like investing and e-commerce and software. And of course, all my YouTube videos are in there, and I'm always in there giving you gold nuggets. So if you want to join, that link is below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.